Like nothing is wrong with me. Like when you're gaslit, you think all the problems are you. And then you realize like, no, it's not true.
Hello, you are listening to NPE Stories. This is a podcast where NPEs can share their story. I am your host, Lily, and I found out I was an NPE through an ancestry DNA test that changed my life forever. NPE is a term that stands for not parent expected or non-paternal event. This means that one or more of our parents are not who we believe them to be. NPE Stories is a podcast where NPEs can share their story of what their original family was like, how they found out they were an NPE, and what their journey has been like since the day they found out. Welcome to episode 200. I can't believe I have 200 episodes. You just heard a slightly different version of my theme song for NPE Stories. And that is in honor of 200 episodes and also for the guest we have on as well today. My husband wrote this song for me 5 years ago. Thank you so much, Graham, for writing this. And at the time, I was hurting. I was in a really tough place. And so he wrote me a song that fit that mood. But 5 years into this, I am feeling a lot different. I have been through a lot of healing, a lot of growth. And so for today, I said, give it a little different vibe. Go ahead and put it through the funny filter. And he said, that's not how music works, but okay. So he changed the version just for today. I also think I will be taking a break this summer for about a month. So we will have a little pause. All my children are home from school, and I will start again in August 2024. All right, and now let me switch over to saying hi to my guest, who I recently met.
Mm-hmm.
And today I'm speaking with Lauren LoGiudice.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Lauren. So good to see your face again.
It's great to see you as well. And thank you for this work that you do. It's so important.
Yes, I have to say you were at the summit and you were our funny person. You were our comedian. You were our MC. You kept us laughing throughout that weekend. Thank you so much for hosting that and doing that. I'm so glad you're in our community because sometimes we need to feel lighthearted about this too.
I was completely unprepared for the conference and the emotional needs of doing it. I had no idea. So I came and I realized this as I was going through because I went to everything. I went to all the things.
Wow.
And most people are like, yeah, you got to kind of take breaks from going in. And also, I didn't know a lot of stuff. Like I didn't know a lot of the stuff that happens with adoption and I was just like walking around and then I didn't realize like when you're hosting something like how much like space you're holding for people and how many emotional needs that would have. So, and then it was the first time being around community like that. So I was like,
that was your first time in our little community?
Yes, it was the first time being surrounded by people who get it.
I call it our community of nodding heads because you can just get right into it. People are nodding along. They completely get it. It makes you feel connected. And it's finally like a safe place to have an emotional release. I know that weekend, I'm not a big crier. But that weekend, I was, it was the safe place for me to just kind of let it out at times I needed it.
Yes. And because I'm hosting, I feel like it was interesting because I was like, I can't cry because I'm holding it for everyone.
No, you can. I'm sorry. You can. It's for you too.
Yes. Now I know. Yeah, now I know. I think I know next time. I think I need to just go have quiet moments more next time.
Definitely. I've learned that after my first one. You can go up to your hotel room and just have those breaks because it is overwhelming. Like I was home, I was drained when I got home for days, and I'm sure you were too.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my! It was just like it was such an incredibly powerful event, and also doing comedy. like I create these things, like I'm always thinking about how can I make it more relatable to people who don't understand. And then I didn't have to do so much work to walk people through it. It was such
Right.
a joy.
Right. I also went to your workshop, by the way, or half of it. I went
Yes,
to
I
Thank you for
remember.
doing that. Thank you for doing that. I got kind of I never got a punchline, but I started on a funny little bit. Mine was a stupid thing my biological father had done. He called me by a really weird name. And so
Mhm.
and it was therapized so I could use it.
Mhm.
He called
Mhm.
me Lulu. By the way, my name is Lily. So thank you for letting me work on that little bit in your workshop. That was really good for me.
It was healing for me too to see the lightness that was happening around us,
Yeah.
and seeing people transform in that. We got to because people presented their work, and it was amazing to see. Like I would just ask a few questions about it, because usually what happens when people are writing about this, and I do this too, is that we do the surface level. So I'm trying to get people to go, what's underneath that? Because the truth, the nitty gritty truth, because a lot of our stories have like so many fun details which don't feel fun,
Yep.
but for comedy's sake, they're fun. They're fun. There are these unique stories that comedians wish they had, like because
Wow.
it's like something unbelievable and that everyone will remember you. So I'm now teaching a class after that with some of the people and then some other another folk from somewhere else, a comedy class on how to do this. And I really like working with people who don't have any experience in comedy,
Yeah.
because you can be funny if you just say the truth and get better every time. That's it. Just say the truth, say the wacky stuff, and you know
Yeah.
you
I
could
love it.
transmute it. If you've therapized, and we use that word, the word I made up, that you have to have like been able, you've done the crying about it, most of the crying at least, and you feel comfortable talking about it, because a lot of the stuff is just going to be sad, and it just needs to be sad, and that's cool.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Well, thank you for doing all of that weekend. Let's get into your story today.
Yeah.
So, why don't we start with your raising family? I only know just like a brief generic. I believe that you are a late discovery donor conceived
Yes.
person.
Yes, and I am working on being able to talk about it more like online, because one, I need to talk to a few family members still, which is going to happen
Okay.
in the next like week or two.
Okay.
Just to like, I want people to hear from my mouth first before it just that. And I'm also dealing with a lot of guilt of like, how do my dad, my social dad, and I'm sure everyone here can relate to that, like feeling like if you start talking about it, then your raising family will feel bad. And then, but it's
Yes.
your story.
Yes. I get this all the time. People come on anonymously, they change names. My first year, Lauren, of doing this podcast, I just said my name was Lily. No last name. I didn't connect it with any of my social media. I was just an anonymous host because I was freaking out actually about my new biological family. I wanted them to accept me. So I understand like family dynamics and all of that. So share what you're comfortable with, what
Yeah.
you want to,
Yeah,
and
of course. Well,
yes.
it's, yes, I'm late discovery donor conceived. And the comedy of it was I grew up, my sister, we were going through old pictures, my sister, my half sister. I mean, my sister, I was raised with her. I consider all my siblings my siblings. It's like who half, quarter, who knows? Just whatever. They're my siblings. So my sister was looking at pictures from when we were growing up. And she was like, oh my God, do you think you were born? And then this like blonde, tall, skinny chick in a very short, squat Italian family. Do you think they were like, what do we do? Because I think they told the moms, they were like, oh, I got that. It was my mom did this, and there was no like book they chose me from, because people keep saying like, oh, they wanted you to be tall to like, give you it like athletic, or, your dad wanted an NFL quarterback. But no, the doctor, my mom said, was just like, I got something for you. And that's it. So I'm born into this little Italian family, and it was obvious that something was up. And people are rude. They are, someone just said this to me. I was at my nephew's soccer game, and I was standing with with one of the coaches who, after the game, and then I was like, oh, I'm the aunt of Charlie. And he looked at my brother and was like, oh, but you're so tall. I'm like, you're so rude. So people would constantly comment, so rude. I joke. Someone asked my mom if I was a Nordic exchange student. Like it was pretty intense. And it always gave me a sense where I didn't know like who I was. And I didn't know it at the time, genealogical bewilderment, and like didn't have a concept of like what I looked like and who, and I just thought something was wrong with me deeply because from the beginning, when I came out, the first thing people do is they start comparing you to the parents, and I did not look like my father, like at all. And no one could explain it because like my mom was pregnant, and also she's like not the type to do something behind my dad's back. So, but she was living with her mother. Like there was no way that anything happened. So everyone was confused. However, like my dad's family, some people would say like remarks to my mom about this and like, what'd you do? Rude, so rude. But my whole family, I'll say everyone would say the words, where did this kid come from?
Wow.
So I had no real concept and I never really, I was very angry towards them. I had this like hidden pool of anger when I became a teenager. I was drinking a lot and smoking weed a lot. It was just like, I needed to forget this shit. And essentially I was being gaslit because I would ask them, why don't I look like anyone? And they were like, well, at first they said, well, sometimes they said it's all in your head, but sometimes they would quote this thing my grandfather did. Because he's looking at me, and my grandfather just wanted everyone just to get along. So he went to the library. This guy who got off the boat from Sicily through Ellis Island, never graduated high school. He went to the library like an MIT research scientist, and he comes back with a fact, which is that the Vikings invaded Sicily. So I start telling people that the Vikings invaded Sicily, and that's why I look different than my family.
This isn't true.
This is 100% true.
It is.
I was walking New York streets being like, I'm 100% Italian American Lorman from Queens. I know I don't look it, but the Vikings, like a fucking moron. I went back to Sicily on a Discover My Roots trip. And when I tell this to NPE, they get it on such like a visceral level because it's like, you fucking did the thing. Yeah. You were going over. And I walked into my grandfather's village. I literally got off a bus and I was like, I'm a LoGiudice. I'm here to reconnect with my family. Yeah. And they were like, you Americani un poco stupido, huh?
Oh, I mean, that's a trip I want to take because I'm the opposite. I found out I have Sicilian in me. But so you did the trip to Sicily and you saw where your supposed roots were from. And are you at all Sicilian?
I'm not Sicilian. I'm from Naples. Like, I feel like though socially, I've soaked in so much of that Sicilian flavor.
Absolutely.
And my grandfather's story was such a big part of who I was growing up, being like my grandfather, came on the boat.
Yeah.
So through him, I'm like second gen, I guess.
Yeah.
So I had that immigrant mentality, immigrant story. It's like a huge part of who I am. I'm like, my dad would work really hard, and so did my grandfather. And that work ethic is very much an immigrant work ethic often. And like I got that from them. So yeah.
Now, how many siblings do you have? I know you have one sister.
So yeah, irony of ironies. After me, my parents had kids naturally.
Oh, you're the firstborn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. My dad, I joke, my dad's balls are slow to start. That's what happened. You need a little grease in the wheel. You know what I mean? So yeah. So that happened. And they had not one and not two, but 3 other kids.
Okay.
Who look exactly like them.
Of course. Okay.
So I was like this tall weirdo in this Italian American family. And it was rough. Yeah.
You're from Queens?
I'm from Queens. Yep.
Can I ask, just trying to get an idea of the donor conceived industry back then, approximately what year were you born or what time?
So the 80s. So where it was in Brooklyn. It was in Brooklyn, and it's a thing a clinic that's no longer open. Mm-hmm. And it was they were just tossing it in. And my genetic father was a sperm donor there because he was a med student and he needed extra money. And that was simple as that. But he did it for a while. He did it from 1978 to 1993.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is a really long time to donate.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And he was very popular. He thinks because his sperm work really well.
Wow.
So we have as many, I've estimated 270 siblings. Also, back then, like they would, I think, do it more like definitely tried first without any hormones or anything. Anyway, I think it was maybe cheaper. I don't know if that's true, but it seems like it was less of an ordeal than now.
You probably have one of the largest sibling pods I've heard of.
Oh, wow. But yeah. But maybe we don't know. We don't know.
Exactly. You estimate from, I mean, are you part of the donor sibling? Oh, what's that called? The registry?
Registry, yeah.
Registry.
I think my Daryl did. My brother from this did that. I did all the genetic tests. I did everyone. And I got them, even if you could upload your results, I did them fresh. I was like, I want to make sure.
Yep. Okay, so let me go to the time in your life when you found out you were an NPE, when you found out you were a DCP. Approximately when was this?
Right. That was only 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, Lauren.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard.
So okay, this is crazy. So, okay, let's go back up 6 years ago. I get my DNA results and I was like, they don't really make sense. And ancestry.com makes them hard to understand, I think on purpose. And I think like, is this even accurate? Because like I compared mine to my brothers. My brothers were from Sicily and Greece, and mine were from northern Italy and England. And so my brother, I was like, there's natural variability between siblings. And the Vikings did invade Sicily. So like, and they did have genes from they invaded. So maybe it was like as they went through. So I didn't really understand the results. I put them on Facebook and my mom's in the comment section being like, end this shit now. So, so I'm thinking it's ridiculous. I don't know if this is even accurate. And then I meet a PhD in genetics. I'm about to climb Mount Kenya, and a PhD in genetics is there. And I told him, and he was like, I'd look into that. And then I came back. Now, meanwhile, COVID is about to close New York City. So I'm going through all of this as there's this mysterious bug coming to the United States. It could be bad. So I look through and I see that there's all these people I don't know. And then I call my brother and I said, okay, I see you. I see my brother. He's like, I see you. And I was like, do you see mom's cousin? And he said, yeah, I see mom's cousin. I'm seeing my mom's cousin. And I said, didn't dad's cousin do ancestry? And he said, yeah, I see him right here. So I looked him up through his username and it said right there, like not related. So we knew that's conclusive that my dad's not my dad. And this, for anyone listening to this who's like trying to figure it out, this is like an easy way to sleuth. Know that like there could also be other things going on with that person's identity. It's not like definitive, but if your brother's connected and you're not, and then that's like, all right. And then also, yeah, something could have happened with both of their situations too. So with caution, use this as a device to figure out what's what. Because the stories are crazy and like, that might not just be you, it might be a bunch of you. So that's how we figured that out. Then I saw that there was a bunch of people I was like first cousin / sibling with. So I started asking, I was thinking, okay, around this time, this is so nuts. My mom gives me a picture of my godfather who is tall with fair features. And I'm thinking maybe she's trying to do like a subconscious, like, this is who it is. And so I'm convinced, I'm asking all of these first cousin / siblings, do you know who John Matiska is? I shouldn't say his name, whatever. He's in Brooklyn. I couldn't find him, so you won't be able to. So I was trying to, I couldn't find him. I found an address online and I ended up FedExing him a letter being like, hi, it's your goddaughter who you haven't spoken to since I was 6. Because mysteriously my parents stopped talking to him when I was 6, when I started to get weird. Like she looks so much like him. So he didn't respond, but then I talked to all of these first cousins / siblings and called Ancestry being like, how are these people related? And they're like, we do like that for like safety, but like they are definitely your siblings. And there is like 15 of us at this point. So we all get in a Facebook Messenger group and we start exchanging information. And someone said their mother told them that they used a sperm donor.
Oh.
And she knew the hospital, like it was all in Brooklyn. And all of us had moms who had history in Brooklyn. So then I'm like, all right, now I know what the situation is. I got to hear it from my mother's mouth. I drove to my mother's house in Long Island, and New York is about to close. And I'm just thinking, I gotta hear this. So I get there, and what I didn't realize is that my half brother from the sperm donor noticed that we had a mutual friend on Facebook, and called that mutual friend and was like, how do we both know Lauren? And she said, your deceased mother was my best friend, but I have 2 best friends, and that is Lauren's mother. So as soon as he realized what just happened, he was like, why don't we keep all of this just to ourselves until we figure it out? And she's like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then she hangs up and calls my mom and tells her everything. So when I got to my mother's house, I knew that she knew that I knew that she knew. It was like, she knew that I knew that I knew that she knew. It was like she was chattering a mile a minute because this is like decades long secret. She's chattering away. And then finally I couldn't take it anymore. And I was like, Mom, I know what I did a DNA test. I know what happened. And she's like, I'm not talking about this. And I was like, Mom, where are you going to go? She's like, I'm leaving. I'm like, we're going to go get COVID. Okay. Like, what are you going to do? She goes into the kitchen and she's angrily doing dishes. And then I broke the ice by saying one of these facts we found out in digging through our new genetic family history is that I was like, Mom, so the silver lining to all of this is that I am a distant cousin of Princess Diana. And then she laughed, and then she's like, only you. And then we were able to have a conversation about it.
Oh.
So that's how I knew before I talked to my mom. It wasn't like my mom was worried, like, will people be mad that I told you? But I knew. I just needed to like hear it from my parents because like I needed to know I'm not crazy because I went into my therapist's office being like, something's wrong with me and we're going to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And then I went back into my therapist's office. My therapist had never dealt with an NPE experience. She's like, I don't even know where this start. Like I didn't. And I think now she knows now. And I had another therapist who was like, maybe you're adopted. I know many people, they deny it. And then I called her to be like, you need to know what happened. Because if you have clients where it seems like it's adopted, it might be donor conceived or something else or an NPE. So after that, I was like, nothing's wrong with me. Like nothing is wrong with me. Like when you're gaslit, you think all the problems are you. And then you realize like, no, it's not true. And it's taken me now, like the last few years, I've just been like comedy has helped me in a huge way. But I keep writing about this and keep trying to sift through the layers and like trying to regain my confidence and regain a belief in myself. I know I do so much comedy, but I stand there and I don't have a full faith in myself and my ability. A comedy teacher tells me, like, clown teacher tells me, like, you just push the funny away sometimes. Like, I don't believe, like, I'm worth that. And that's just all from being my experience. And I go through being angry. Like, I can't believe they did this to me. Like, I went into show business doubting myself in a business which requires like huge amounts of confidence. And I've had so many shitty people. Like, I feel like it's like you're kind of putting a sign on yourself, like, be an asshole to me. Because you have to tell people a lot, fuck off, you're wrong. And I have a hard time doing that. I have a hard time like owning my accomplishments and like really standing. It's taking, like, I have to like update my bio every few months with stuff I remember I've done that I don't claim. And I was had a hard time doing that before. And I think now I'm like, wait a minute, I've done this thing. Or why don't I say I've like owning it? Yeah, it's something that I never thought I could do. So I'm really grateful that I know.
Do you have the sort of environment now with your siblings and parents where you guys talk about it? It's allowed to be brought up. You work through it, or is it more kind of the elephant in the room?
It's just like, they're not necessarily doing the work. Like, I can definitely see where this would have affected them majorly because it was like always treated a little bit differently. And they were like, why? Like, they thought maybe I was the favored kid, but they were just, I don't know, my parents were worried sick of what they did. We brought this kid into the world and now she's so different and she's struggling. Did we fuck up? Like, they were having a lot of hard time about it. So I wish that, that they would think about that more. Cause like when you're treated differently, then you start to think something's wrong with you. But, I can't like speak to anyone's experience, but so there's not like a lot that comes up because they don't think it is as relevant to them as I think maybe it was. They need to go to more therapy and then they'll figure that out.
Did they ever say why they didn't tell you before?
I told my mom, I said, Mom, when were you going to tell me? And she said, not until my dying breath. So never. They thought, she said, I would protect my daughter until the end. So she thought it was protecting. And to her credit, and to my father's credit, like where we grew up in a very Italian neighborhood, it was not the place. Like 80s and 90s in Queens was not the place to be like like diverse family. Like that's not how they would have abused me. So I went to school with kids of mobsters. Like I would have gotten so abused that I would have been under a bridge somewhere, like on heroin, fucking some guy with one tooth. Like that's what I think of myself as like, that's how it could have ended up. So I appreciate that they didn't say anything then, but now, yeah, they should have told me when I graduated college.
So did you have a conversation with your dad about this as well? And how did that go?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, I think he is still struggling. It's like, for Italian men, it's of that generation, it's tough. This whole thing is tough. So we don't talk about it. Like that's the part of the family. Like it's not a conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think it has to be with him. Because I just think it's really hard. Like I'm even thinking of putting like when I put stuff on Facebook to not make it visible to him about my story because I don't think he wants to see it, and like he doesn't need to see it. Like why put that in his face when I can easily share it, and it's not meant for him, and like I think he would just feel bad. And maybe I'm protecting him too much. So it's tough. And we look nothing alike. And I just had a feeling I was driving with him like 10 years ago. And I had the feeling on my stomach. And I was like, this guy is not my dad. I mean, he's my dad. He's my dad. He will always be my dad, but he's not my genetic father. I just knew it.
I think a lot of people feel really protective of their raising dads. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's fucked up because it's like, why am I I'm the child. Why am I
the kid?
Right. And now because I'm the problem. Because it's like, oh, you have to be protective and save him from you. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, something's wrong with me? Like, that again, it's like my existence is a problem.
Yeah. So you have found out your genetic father, your biological father, was a med student. Do you know who he is? Have you ever met him?
I do, Jimbo. He's great. He's super fun.
Jimbo.
The apple fell right next to the tree. And it's because when I was a kid, being different became part of my identity. Like I was like writing bad poetry and drinking 40s and like inline skate tricking and raver jeans and like thinking about the girls whose shirt rode up when she did a layup, like that's I was just like very into being different. And I'm like, wait, maybe it's all in my head. Cause like maybe I identify with different things by looking different. And then I met him and he bikes to the bar. He used to live on a houseboat.
Oh.
And he has a sign on his front lawn that says Coca-Cola will kill you. So it's like weirdness is genetic. I was like, just like fucking weird. Like, and he's great. It's fun, and it just like he accepts that like this was. I mean, accept that this was just like a weird thing in life that happened. And when I first called him, he like the ultimate dad joke. He was just like, when I first called him, he said, he said, this is great. He's like, you know what? Tell your mother she doesn't get a refund if she's not happy with the result. He's so funny. He's a wacky guy.
Has he had other children of his contact him over the years?
This is the first time that we've all figured it out.
Wow.
So kind of all at the same time, we've all figured it out and we're all in touch with him in various ways. And it's great for him. It's like he has these, it's like I say, like he has living the male fantasy. He didn't have to do a thing. And then he has like children to contact him when he's 60, like to hang out with.
Did he ever have any, well, he does have biological children. Did he ever raise any children?
He raised a child who wants nothing to do with us.
Okay.
So it's just kind of fun. I did joke about it. She's Japanese. I was in Japan and I was joking about it and they loved it. Like I started the set being like, I have a Japanese sister and we're going to get to that. And then at the end I came around and talked about having a Japanese sister and she's half Japanese. But
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Living in the US?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. It's whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
The door's open on my part anytime. But the other thing is with this is people are finding out the age we're all finding out is like people are having kids. Like there's no time and emotional energy to like deal with this. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So of your new siblings, I guess I'll call them the new siblings, how are the relationships going there?
Great. It's like having all these new friends to hang out with.
Do you guys look alike?
Yeah, we do. It's cool. Some more than others. I joked that like one of my siblings who has an Italian mom as well looks like the female version of me because he grew up outside of New York City, so his features aren't blunted by cynicism. So he's a sweetie. Everyone's very cool. Some people, again, like in the depths of raising kids, so it's hard to get people together, but we try.
So of your, I don't know if this is the right word, I keep calling them your new siblings. Is that okay?
I guess that's right. I mean, it's fine. We know what we're talking about. It's all good.
Some of them weren't NPEs, though. It sounds like at least one of them, their parents had told them at a young age that they were donor conceived.
Not really at a young age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's more later.
That's so hard. I think that's something that they're trying to change nowadays with donor conceived children that are being raised now is we're trying to get the word out, like let them plant the seed at some point.
Right. You know what? The thing is like people are like, you got to protect the kids. That's a bunch of bullshit. You're protecting yourself. That's really what you're protecting. You're afraid that they're not going to see you as your full parent, which is bullshit. And because you will see them as your full parent. I don't see how you wouldn't. So, I mean, unless the dad has a weird relationship to it all, which happens too. Like dads are just like, don't really think of the kid as their full kid. And that's their fault. So, and that's going to happen if the kid knows or not. So just tell them.
What has helped you since finding this out? What has helped you, tools you've used, things you've done to make you feel better?
Comedy's one. Writing. I think being a community, that was so healing being there. And I was like, oh, this was great. I'm coming again for sure. I want to bring my sister, my sperm donor from the new sister. I like that, new sister. I'm going to bring my new sister. I'm going to bring her. And yeah, I think reaching out to community. I think the Facebook groups are helpful because you can put something in. You're like, I feel this thing. Am I alone here? And then people will chime in, and that's great.
Yeah.
Reading it, I read a lot of books about genetics and the industry. I even read like a thesis called Sex Cells about the industry. And yeah, I really got deep in the reading material, and that was really helpful too.
And here you are just a few years into it, and already you're doing service work in the community. Thank you for that. That's a huge jump. Sometimes I just want to be a member and just like listen.
Yeah.
And here you are actually creating content. You just did a comedy tour.
I did.
Misfit.
So I did a comedy tour called the Misfit Variety Show. And it brings together people who feel like they don't quite fit in. And this includes donor conceived people. And this includes NPEs and adoptees and for whatever reason it is, you don't feel like you fit in. And I felt like because at first it was called Ancestry.comedy. And I felt like it was limiting the scope. Because I felt like, this stuff because of genetic testing is new. But like the freaking Bible, like Jesus was conceived. I mean, even if we go with the God thing, it's still his dad wasn't his dad. And Joseph had to deal with those feelings. I mean, it was like from the beginning, almost every Bible story, like so much literature, Jon Snow is an NPE. So it's like it's just tale as old as time. So I wanted to create something, and also just the fact of like people moving continents and feeling different and being, there's so many stories which involve this. Like it's so much bigger than us. So people come and talk about all of those things, being like going to religious camp or, whatever it is. I mean, I'm here. I wanted to make it a space for everyone to fit in. People, LGBTQ folks, it's whatever way people feel like they didn't quite fit the mold.
Lauren, if people wanted to get in touch with you, what is the best way to do that?
Right. I'd love to hear from you. The best way is to go to my website. It's LaurenLoGiudice.com. And I know that's very intimidating. So I made it easy for you. It's LaurenLogi, LOGI.com. So just go to LaurenLogi.com. And you can sign up for my email list there. That's the way you can find out about the class. If you heard this and you want to be working in the comedy class, it's something I'll offer a few times a year. Email me, and then first of all, you could do two things. Should join the email list, but if you do want like a special shout out, you can just email me directly from my website and I'll put you on a special list as well. But you'll get a monthly email with the info as well.
And explain the comedy class again to our listeners.
So I do a comedy class for people without any experience with comedy. And a lot of people take it who want to take serious stuff that they've already talked about in therapy and bring some lightness to it. And that's what we're working on.
I love it. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story today and your resources. And thank you for doing so much for our community. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate what you're doing as well. It's a beautiful thing.
These stories are here for us to identify with. If you are an NPE and would like to share your story, email npestories@gmail.com. You do not have to give any identifying information. If you are an NPE and would like to share your story, I'd like to hear from you. Subscribe to this podcast to hear more. Come heal with us.